My name is Heidi Moody. I grew up in Charlton, still live in Charlton. I am a CrossFit coach and a personal trainer, which is what I love to do. So I call myself either professional gym rat or a professional athlete. I get paid to work out. So I'm married for 18 years, have 2 teenage boys that keep me very busy. Yes, so I am born and raised, and there's 5 generations of my family from Charlton. So things like the Charlton Old Home Day race mean a whole lot more to me than just the Charlton race itself. I think what started me running was when I went to Nova Scotia and got bored with just walking, and I picked up the pace and started running. My husband's grandmother has a place right on a bluff, and it's gorgeous. So the road overlooks the bluff, and there's lots of fields and like cows and everything. And so when I started running, I could see the ocean over one side, and there was deer in the fields and like pretty wildflowers and everything. And I had that moment like, this is really cool. And I think that's kind of where it started. So I remember running just barely a mile and thinking that was pretty cool. And then I started running from home, and I remember where the mile marker was, and I ran a full mile, and then I ran a little further, and then I thought how cool it would be to run all the way back home again. And then I did it one day, and then I kept going more and more and more, and I caught the running bug. I kind of liked how it felt. And then when I went to college, I think that's when I started becoming a professional drinker and partier. And it took me a little while to get through college. I had way too much fun there. Had to come home. I didn't exercise, really. I didn't do much. And when my dad died, that was a big spiral. So I was eating a lot, I was drinking a lot, and I gained a ton of weight. So at one point I was over 200 pounds. And this isn't counting when I was pregnant. This was after I was pregnant. But I was tipping the scale of over 200 pounds. And we took a family photo where I looked like Jabba the Hutt in this photo. It was me and my kids and my husband all around me, and I seriously looked like Jabba the Hutt. It was giant in this photo, and that's when I realized, I'm like, I'm not happy. I don't like this. But I started losing some weight, started, dropping the pounds, and started realizing that exercise made me feel good. And the more I exercised, the less I drank, and the easier it was to lose weight. I was into running, then I started doing through the Y, and so, through some friends there, I started doing triathlons. So I was doing the swimming, biking, and the running. Then after a while, I liked the running better. I wasn't a good swimmer. Biking was fun, but now I'm afraid to bike. I don't like to bike on the roads anymore. So after the Y, I got into the CrossFit. So I do the CrossFit, which I think is a good mix with keeping me healthy to run. I think it keeps me injury-free to be able to do the CrossFit, and I like that too. I just like doing the CrossFit, but the running kind of releases and helped me stay sober as well, because I like to get up early in the morning. Can't be doing that when you're out drinking late at night. And I think that drinking mentality, that addictive personality, is what got me into the ultra marathons, because you always want a little more. And then decided what it would be like to do anchor down to see how far I could go. So I think I did the 12-hour for the first one, and I just wanted to see how far I could go. And I think I did 36. Actually, it's on my bracelet. 36.7. And then from there I started doing Ghost Train, and now it's just to see how far I can push myself and get lost in the run, I think. So I was supposed to run Boston in 2020. And that would have been my 4th marathon. And I think at that point I had done 5 ultras already. And honest to God, I didn't really train for any of those running. I just got out there and ran. Like, I didn't really have I didn't have a time goal. I think what my goal is that I like to feel good at the end. I like to feel like I gave it my best and my all. Like, I don't like to destroy myself at the end of something. So, but in training for Boston, I did have a goal. I wanted to, being my fourth marathon, not my first, I had a certain time that I wanted to get. And as I was following that training plan, it was amazing. It actually worked. And I got faster and I got stronger. My CrossFit declined, but my running was better and stronger. And then when everything shut down, I had that base of running, which turned out to be perfect because that's all we did was run. And we could run like 15 miles, no problem, which still blows my mind to this day. But I think when I was training for Boston, I was following that plan and it was working and it felt good. And to be able to like get into that zone where you feel like your legs just aren't like a part of your body anymore. I don't know how to explain that. Like you're just going. Wait, let me do that again. I gotta smile. I always go. And some people ask, like, what do you think about when you're running? I'm actually able now to run without music. I started listening to podcasts. I listen to books sometimes, but most of the time I just listen to nothing. And I think that came from like doing the ultras. Like I just get sick of listening to things and I just want like the world to kind of disappear and I'm in the here and now when I'm running, like just in the moment. But I think it's like that balance of life too. Like I still know I can get out there and run. Probably not a good 10 miles like I did a year ago at this time, but I can still do that 10 miles and still get out there. So I think I stay active, I keep going. I don't stress out about paces. I more go with the feel. Maybe I'm a more mindful runner, I guess. I don't mind the cold. I was explaining to someone not too long ago that in the winter, I feel like my outside is being affected. Like my outsides will get cold, but when I'm a summer runner, I feel like my insides are getting affected. Like my heart is going to explode and everything inside of my body is going to explode. I've done a lot of fun races. So Millinocket is one of my favorite races. So I think Millinocket's gonna be on my list for the rest of my life. I like that one. But I also have ties to that area, the memories, childhood memories in that area. So I've seen what it looked like when it was thriving and when the logging company was up there and the logging trucks were coming and going. And so now I see what it looks like just depressed. To go up there and run, everyone says it's a free race, but there's a lot of logistics to get up there. And so that amount of money that race dumps into that town is like enormous. And I've done finish at the 50, which was really cool because I did that with Team Hoyt and Jackie, who's no longer with us. That was pretty cool to push Jackie and you run through the tunnel and onto the Foxborough Stadium and on the big screen, and that was fun. I kind of fell into Team Hoyt. Some people that had already run with Team Hoyt thought that I would be good for Team Hoyt. I said, sure, what's Team Hoyt? Rick was about 10. He can only speak through a device. He told his dad that he wanted to be part of a race that his friend that he went to school with was putting on this race, and he wanted to raise money and to do this. So his dad said sure and pushed him in the wheelchair, which was just a regular old, everyday wheelchair. And after his dad, who was not a runner, who was not conditioned at all for this, after Rick was done with this race, told his dad that when he runs, he feels like he is normal and he feels like he is alive. And so that was like what started the whole thing. So it's a cool feeling. So I used to push this girl, Jackie. And so she was nonverbal as well, but she did some cool things. Like she would look up at me when I was running, or she'd put her hands up in the air. And then when the crowd was starting to yell, I always wanted the crowd to yell for Jackie. So they would yell her name and then her arms would come up and she would, but yeah, she passed away just from health issues. I honestly don't remember how I got hooked into Tri-State. I don't really remember. I don't even remember like the first run I went on. I don't remember any of that, but it's been a part of my world. I like having that option of looking on the Facebook page and seeing what everybody's doing. I love Strava not because I'm like snooping on what everyone's doing and where they're going and what their paces is. I love to see people out there and going and like, you know, you're running your 23 miles. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. Or seeing where people go if they travel and I'm like, wow, you know, Jose's in Puerto Rico and he's running around. Good for him. That's awesome. And I don't know, I like that. I like that. I think that motivates me. I think that's the part of the community that I like. So even when I'm not physically part of the community, I still feel like I'm part of things. And just seeing what everybody's doing and getting out there and doing that thing. I like it. That's my story.